Hello students, in last video we have seen the introduction of meiosis. Okay, and we said that meiosis involves two steps, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And we said that meiosis 1 is known as reductional division and meiosis 2 is known as equational division. And after the completion of meiosis, 4 daughter cells will be produced, and all these daughter cells are different from each other. Genetically, they are different from each other. Okay. So after the meiosis, after the complete process of meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, 4 daughter cells are produced, and all these daughter cells are completely different or genetically different from each other. They are not same. Okay. And today we are going to learn that meiotic process in detail. Today we will learn that meiosis process in detail. Okay, and meiosis is a very complex process in compared to mitosis. Mitosis is very simple, but in compared to that, meiosis is very complex. Okay, so let's learn meiosis in detail. So M phase, when M phase occurs via meiotic method, after the completion of G1, S and G2 phase, M phase can occur via meiotic method, and in that method two steps are involved, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. When a cell completes G1, S and G2 phase, it can either enter into mitotic phase or it can enter into the meiotic phase, or it can divide via meiotic method. So here our cell has completed G1, S and G2. Our cell, whether it is a plant cell or animal cell, that is not an issue here. So our cell has completed G1, S and G2 phase, and now it is entering in the meiosis method. Okay, it is entering in meiotic method. So in meiotic method it will enter into meiosis 1. This is known as round 1 of meiosis. This is known as round 2 of meiosis. Okay, and in between these two rounds there is a period of pause. There is a period of pause which is known as interkinesis. Okay, between the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, there is a period of pause, there is a period of hold which is known as interkinesis. This period is known as period of temporary pause or hold. So it is known as interkinesis. Okay. So meiosis 1 involves following steps. Meiosis 1 has following steps: prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. Meiosis 1 involves prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. After the completion of telophase 1, there will be a temporary pause in the cell division, and that pause is known as interkinesis. And then cell will enter into the second round of meiosis, which is known as meiosis 2, and that involves prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2. So in this manner, meiosis is comparatively complex than mitosis. Okay, this kind of two rounds are not there in case of mitosis. Okay, mitosis has only one round of M phase. Okay, that is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Okay, complete. Then M phase is over. But here the M phase involves two steps, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. And the meiosis 1 has prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. And then a temporary pause will be there, temporary hold will be there, and then meiosis 2 will start, which involves prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2. Okay, so let's start with the prophase 1. Okay, prophase 1 is more complex than the simple prophase of mitosis. Prophase 1 is more complex than the prophase of the simple mitosis. In fact, this prophase 1 is the most complex phase of M phase of meiosis method or of mitotic method. Okay, prophase 1 is the most complex phase of both meiosis and mitosis. Okay, so it is the longest phase as well as it is the most complex phase of meiosis, meiotic method or mitotic method. Okay, so prophase 1 involves following steps: leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotin and dikinesis. Prophase 1 has following steps: leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotin and dikinesis. These are the steps which are there in the prophase 1. When this last step is over, when dikinesis is over, the cell will enter into the metaphase 1. After that, it will enter into the anaphase 1. After that, it will go into telophase 1. Then it will take a pause for a while, which is known as interkinesis. Then the cell will enter into the prophase 2. Then it will enter into the metaphase 2. Then anaphase 2. And then after telophase 2, 4 daughter cells will be produced. After telophase 2, 4 daughter cells will be there. Okay. So the cell is passing through G1, S and G2 phase. Then it enters into the meiosis 1. And in meiosis 1 also it is going into the prophase 1. And in prophase 1, it passes through leptotin, zygotin, pachytin, diplotin, dikinesis. After the dikinesis phase, it will enter into the metaphase 1, then it will enter into the anaphase 1, then it will enter into the telophase 1, then it will take a pause for a while, then it will stop its cell division for a while. It is known as interkinesis. Then it will enter into the second round of meiosis, which is known as meiosis 2, and then it will enter into the prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2. And after the completion of telophase 2, there will be 4 cells. Okay. So in this manner, this is the whole process that we are going to learn in detail. Okay, all these processes we will learn in detail, and we will begin with leptotin. We have drawn the figure of G1, S and G2. You have already drawn the figure of G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. Okay, so today we are not going to draw all that figures, okay, because we have already covered G1, S and G2 phase and we have drawn the figure also. We will directly start with the prophase 1, and in that also we will start with the leptotin. So let's learn the prophase 1 of the meiosis 1. Okay, चलो वो learn करते हैं. So students, we are starting to learn meiosis 1, and in that we are learning prophase 1, and in that also we will start with leptotin phase. Okay, and we have already completed G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase. You all know regarding them. Okay, so we will not repeat them again, and you all know about the figure of them also. Okay, you all know about the diagram of all the stages of G1, S and G2. So I am not going to draw all the diagram again. Okay, please try to learn that diagram as well as phases. Okay, and then you should start with leptotin. Okay, so we will learn leptotin today. Okay, so what happens in the leptotin? Here the cell is there. Okay, and it has duplicated centrioles. Its nucleolus is present. And nuclear membrane is also present. It is also intact. Nuclear membrane is also intact. So what kind of changes has occurred in this cell? You can see that chromatin has condensed to form chromosomes. Okay. Now chromatin condensation has occurred and it has taken the shape of chromosomes. Chromatin has taken the shape of chromosomes. And these chromosomes are thin. They are light in color. They are not dark in color. As they are thin, as the condensation has just to begin, so their chromatids are thin in size. Okay, they are thin in size and they are light in color. These chromosomes are light in color, but both the chromatids are held together by centromere. So these are the features of leptotin stage of the prophase 1. Okay, we are learning prophase 1. In that we have started with the leptotin. So this is about leptotin stage. What has happened? Duplicated centrioles are there, nucleolus is present, intact nuclear membrane is there, chromosomal condensation or chromatin condensation has just begun, and the chromosomes are light in shape and size, light in color, and they are thin in shape. They are thin, and they are made up of two thin chromatids. Chromosomes are made up of two thin chromatids which are held together by centromere. Okay, so this is about leptotin. Chromatin condensation begins. Formation of the chromosome has occurred, or formation of the chromosome starts, and these chromosomes have thread-like chromatids. Nuclear membrane is intact and nucleolus is also present, and duplicated centrioles are present near the nuclear membrane. Okay, duplicated centrioles are present near the nuclear membrane. This is all about lactoting phase of the prophase 1. Okay, what happens in the lactoting phase of the prophase 1? Duplicated centriole will lie as it is. Okay, nuclear membrane is also intact. Nucleolus is also present. The change that has occurred in this cell is that chromatin has started to undergo condensation, or chromatin condensation has begun. Okay, and this chromatin has now taken the shape of chromosomes. This chromatin has now taken the shape of the chromosome, but these chromosomes are light in color, and because they have thin chromatids, and both these chromatids are held together by centromere. Okay, so this is all about lactoting stage. Chromatin condensation begins, formation of the chromosome occurs, which are having thread-like chromatids. Nuclear membrane is intact, nucleolus is present, and duplicated centrioles are present near the nuclear membrane. Okay, so this is all about lactoting stage. Then this stage is known as zygote stage. After the lactote, zygote stage is there. Now what has happened in this zygote stage? See, centrioles are present as it is. Nucleolus is also there as it is. Nuclear membrane is also intact. So what change has occurred from lactote to zygote? In zygote, now we can see pair of the chromosomes. We will find the pair of the chromosomes. Okay, here the chromosomes were formed, but in this stage the formed chromosomes will form pair. Okay, the chromosomes which have been produced due to condensation now they will form pair with other homologous chromosomes. So there will be pairing of the homologous chromosome during the zygote stage. Okay, during the zygote stage, which change will take place in the cell? During the zygote phase, there will be pairing of the homologous chromosome. What are homologous chromosomes? The chromosomes which are similar in size and shape are known as homologous chromosomes. Okay, chromosomes which are similar in size and shape are known as homologous chromosomes. So all these chromosomes will make pair. Make pair with the homologous chromosome. Okay, all chromosomes make pair with their homologous chromosome, and this process of making pair is known as synapsis. Okay, in this is a pair is there, but this is a two-dimensional board. So I have to draw this chromosome by this chromosome or near to this chromosome. Okay, I have to draw this chromosome adjacent to this chromosome. Actually, this second chromosome is behind this chromosome. Okay, so in zygote stage, what happens? The second chromosome is behind the first chromosome. Because this board is two-dimensional, I have to draw the second chromosome adjacent to the first chromosome. In fact, it is lying behind the first chromosome. So no doubt pairing has occurred. But how many chromosomes are visible under microscope? We can see only one chromosome under the microscope. Okay, because the second chromosome is behind the first chromosome. Second chromosome will be behind the first chromosome. Because of the limitations of board, as it is two-dimensional, I have to draw this second chromosome adjacent to the first chromosome. But actually it is lying behind the first chromosome. That you please note it down, that this second chromosome is behind the first chromosome. Okay, and then in this manner they are attached with each other in this manner. This is the first chromosome and this is the second chromosome. Okay, and both these chromosomes are held together by this kind of protein. Okay, both these chromosomes are held together by this kind of protein. This black colored protein is there. This protein is known as synaptonomial complex. Okay, so in zygote stage, the chromosomes will make pair with the homologous chromosome. What are homologous chromosomes? Chromosomes which are similar in size and shape are known as homologous chromosomes. Okay, and in the pair, one chromosome is behind the another chromosome, and both chromosomes are attached to each other with the help of protein known as synaptonomial complex. Both the chromosomes are held together with the help of protein known as synaptonomial complex. So this is all about zygote state. Okay. So what happens in the zygote state? There will be pairing of the homologous chromosome, and this process is known as synapsis. There will be pairing of the homologous chromosome. This is known as synapsis. And formation of the synaptonomial complex takes place. Okay, there will be formation of the synaptonomial complex. What is synaptonomial complex? Synaptonomial complex is a protein which keep or which attach both the chromosome to each other, or which join both the chromosome to each other. That is known as synaptonomial complex. Here also nuclear membrane is intact and nucleolus is also present, and duplicated centrioles lie as it is. They are present as it is. Okay. So no other change except the formation of the pair of the homologous chromosome. No other change except the formation of the pair of the homologous chromosome. And this pair occurs according to the shape and size, and both the chromosomes are attached to each other with the help of synaptonomial complex. Both chromosomes are attached to each other with the help of synaptonomial complex. Okay. Sure. And the process of formation of pair is known as synapsis. Okay. That is characteristic of zygote stage. Sure. Then there is a third stage known as Pachytene stage. After the zygote, the third stage is Pachytene stage. What will happen in the Pachytene stage? The non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosome will cross with each other. Non-sister chromatids of homologous chromosome will cross with each other first of all. Okay. First of all, during the Pachytene stage, non-sister chromatid of homologous chromosome will cross each other. So what are non-sister chromatids? See, this is the chromosome number 1, this is chromosome number 1, this is chromosome number 2. Okay. And this is the first chromatid of chromosome number 1, this is the second chromatid of chromosome number 1. This is third number. I will give third number to the first chromatid of chromosome 2 and fourth number to this chromatid. Okay. So see, 1 and 2 are held together by centromere. 1 and 2 are held together by centromere. 3 and 4 are also held together by centromere. Okay. So 1 and 2 are held by centromere, and 3 and 4 are also held by centromere. So here 1 number and 2 number chromatids are known as sister chromatids. Okay. 1 number and 2 number chromatids are known as sister chromatids. Or what is definition of sister chromatid? The chromatids which are held together by centromere are known as sister chromatids. Chromatids which are held together by centromere are known as sister chromatids. So 1 and 2 are sister chromatids. 3 and 4 are also known as sister chromatids. So what is the relationship between 1 and 2? Relationship between 1 and 2 is sister chromatid. Relationship between 3 and 4 is sister chromatid. But what is the relationship between 1 and 3? What is the relationship between chromatid number 1 and chromatid number 3? What is the relationship between chromatid number 1 and chromatid number 3? They are non-sister chromatid. Okay, chromatid 1 and chromatid 3 are non-sister chromatid. In the same manner, 1 number and 4 number are also non-sister chromatid. 2 number and 3 number are also non-sister chromatid, and 2 number and 4 number are also non-sister chromatid. So I hope you are clear with the sister and non-sister chromatids. Okay, the chromatids which are held by centromere are known as sister chromatids, and chromatids which are not held by centromere but still they are part of homologous chromosome, then they will be known as non-sister chromatid. Okay, chromatids which are not held by centromere but it is part of the homologous chromosome, then it is known as non-sister chromatids. So here 1 and 2 are sister chromatid, 3 and 4 are also sister chromatid, but 1 and 3, 1 and 4, 2 and 3 and 2 and 4 are non-sister chromatids. So these are non-sister chromatids. So what will happen? They will cross each other. Okay, 1 3, 1 4, 2 3 or 2 4. Any one of them or any one pair of them will cross with each other in this manner. See, here this chromatid of black chromosome is crossing this chromatid of blue chromosome. Okay, this chromatid of black chromosome is crossing over this chromatid of the blue chromosome. Okay, so they are crossing each other. They are crossing over each other. Okay, one chromatid of one chromosome will cross over the another chromatid of another chromosome. Okay, it will cross over the another chromatid of another chromosome, or we can say there will be crossing over between non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome. There will be crossing over between non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome. Okay, and please remember that this chromosome is actually behind the first chromosome. This chromosome is actually behind the first chromosome. That you please do not forget. And these two are attached with the help of synaptonormal complex. So synaptonormal complex is still there. Okay, but now the one chromatid of one chromosome is crossing over the another chromatid of another chromosome, or we can say there will be crossing over between non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome during packeting stage. Okay, then what will happen that this chromatid, this blue colored chromatin, will give its part to this black colored chromatin. Okay, they will exchange their part. Blue colored chromatin will give its part to the black colored chromatid, and black colored chromatid will give its part to the blue colored chromatid. In this manner, there will be exchange of the genetic material between the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome. Okay, after the crossing over, what will happen after crossing over? There will be exchange of the genetic material between the non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome. First process during packeting is crossing over. After that, there will be exchange of the genetic material or exchange of the parts between the non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome. So here, blue chromatid is giving its part to black chromatid, and black chromatid is giving its part to blue chromatid. They are exchanging their part, and this process is known as recombination. So first of all, they will cross over each other. After that, they will exchange their parts, which is known as recombination. And during this process, one enzyme is necessary, which is known as recombinase. Okay, to exchange the genetic material between two chromatids. Which enzyme is necessary? Recombinase enzyme is required to exchange the genetic material between two non-sister chromatids. Okay, so now let's learn the packeting stage. Okay, in these points. So what will happen? Crossing over of the non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome. First step in the packeting stage is crossing over of the non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome. Then in the second step, the exchange of the genetic material between non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome. There will be exchange of the genetic material between non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome with the help of recombinase enzyme, and this process is known as recombination. Okay, rest of the steps are same, like nuclear membrane is still present, nucleolus is still present, and duplicated centrioles are present as it is. Nuclear membrane is intact, nucleolus is also intact, but the only change that has occurred during packeting is that first of all, the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome will cross over each other, and then one chromatid will give its part to another chromatid. They will exchange their parts with the help of recombinase enzyme. Okay, so this process is known as recombination. All organisms are different from each other. They are similar in body shape and size. Okay, we are similar to our parents, but we are not identical to our parents. We are similar to our parents with respect to shape and size, but we are not identical to our parents. Why? Because during this packeting stage, recombination has occurred and chromatids have exchanged their parts. Due to this process, we are similar to our parents, but we are not exact copy of our parents. If this stage would have been absent in the meiosis, we would have been exact copy of our parents. Okay, but we are not exact copy of our parents. We are not identical to our parents. We are just similar to our parents. We look like them, but we are not actually like them due to the packeting stage, due to the exchange of the genetic material during the packeting stage. So this stage is very important for variation among the people, okay, or variation among the organisms. All organisms are different from each other, okay, and in fact two siblings are also different from each other, okay. So two siblings are also different from each other because of this recombination that occurs during the packeting stage. So this stage is very important for variation and for evolution of the organism. Okay, for variation and evolution of the organism, the packeting stage is very much important. Okay, so this is all about packeting stage. Okay, so we have covered three stages: lactotine, zygotine and pachytine. In the lactotine state, we said that there will be condensation of the chromatin and chromosomes are formed, which are light in color, and they are made up of thin chromatids which are held together by centromeres. Okay, so the chromosomes appear thin, the chromosomes appear thread-like. Then during zygotine state, there will be pairing of the homologous chromosome, and this is known as synapsis, and all homologous chromosomes are attached to each other with the help of synaptonomial complex. Okay, and one chromosome is actually lying behind the first chromosome. One chromosome is actually lying behind the first chromosome. So that is known as synapsis. That process is known as synapsis. Pairing of the homologous chromosome is known as synapsis, and they are attached to each other with the help of synaptonomial complex. Nuclear membrane is present, nucleus is also there, duplicated centrioles are also present. Okay, then in the pachytine state, there will be exchange of the genetic material between the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome. What are non-sister chromatids? The chromatids which are not joined together with centromere, bicentromere, are known as non-sister chromatids. Chromatids which are not attached to each other by centromere are known as non-sister chromatids. Okay, so there will be exchange of the genetic material between the non-sister chromatids of the homologous chromosome, and before that there will be crossing over. So first of all, there will be crossing over between the non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome, and then there will be exchange of the genetic material between the non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome with the help of recombinase enzyme, and this process is known as recombination. And due to this process only, all organisms and even two siblings are different from each other. So variation are present among individuals because of the pachytine state. Okay, due to pachytine state, variation is there among the individuals of the same species. Okay, so this is all about three stages: lactotine, zygotine and pachytine state. In the next slide we will talk about after pachytine there will be diploting, and then we will talk about dikinesis. So two stages are still remaining in prophase 1. We will talk about them in the next slide. We will talk about diploting, and then we will talk about dikinesis. Please wait. So students, we have covered pachytine stage, and we said about pachytine state that during pachytine state there will be crossing over of the non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome, and then there will be exchange of the genetic material between the non-sister chromatid of the homologous chromosome, and this process is known as recombination, and it occurs with the help of recombinase enzyme. Okay, and we also know the fact that this chromosome is actually lying behind the first chromosome. This chromosome is actually behind the first chromosome. It is not adjacent to the first chromosome. Okay, so this chromosome is actually behind the first chromosome. It is not adjacent to the first chromosome. So in the pachytine stage, only one chromosome was visible. Okay, and we can say only pair of the chromosome was there. Okay, and that pair of the chromosome is known as bivalent. So in the pachytine stage, we could see only bivalent under the microscope. Under the microscope. We could not see both chromosomes separately under the microscope during the pachytine stage, as the first chromosome was behind, or as the second chromosome was behind the first chromosome. Okay, so as the second chromosome was just behind the first chromosome, we could not see all chromatids clearly during the pachytine stage. We could just see bivalent. We could just see that a pair of the chromosome is there. We could not see all chromatids clearly. Okay. So now what happens during the diploting state? What happens? The synaptonomial complex gets dissolved. You all know about synaptonomial complex. The protein that keeps both, the protein that joins both the chromosome together is known as synaptonomial complex. The protein that joins both the chromosomes are known as synaptonomial complex. So as that protein that gets dissolved, the second chromosome which was lying behind will come in the front part, or it will come adjacent to the first chromosome. Okay, what happens? That the synaptonomial complex gets dissolved during the diploting stage. The first event is dissolution of the synaptonomial complex, and as the synaptonomial complex gets dissolved, the second chromosome which was lying behind the first chromosome will come in front. Second chromosome which was lying behind the first chromosome will come in front, and it will lie adjacent to the first chromosome. It will lie adjacent to the first chromosome. So initially we were just able to find bivalent during the packaging stage. Initially we could just see bivalent during the packaging stage. Now we can see tetrads during the packaging stage or during the diplotin stage. Okay, so what happens during the diplotin stage? The synaptonomial complex will get dissolved, and the second chromosome which was lying behind will come adjacent to the first chromosome, and now due to this the tetrads are clearly visible. Both tetrads are clearly visible. Okay, so synaptonomial complex will get dissolved, and bivalent now clearly appears as tetrad. Bivalent now clearly appears as tetrad. Initially in the packaging stage we could just see the bivalent under the microscope, but now we can see as the chromosomes are moving away from each other, so tetrads are clearly visible. Tetrads are clearly visible under the microscope. So bivalent is clearly visible in form of tetrad. Now bivalent is clearly visible in form of tetrad. Okay, and synapse chromosome begin to move away from each other. Initially they were near to each other. Now they will move away from each other, and they are held together at a point which is known as chiasmata. Though they are moving away from each other, but they are held together at this point, and this point is known as chiasmata. Okay, the point at which the chromosomes which are moving apart are still held together at a point. That point is known as chiasmata. Okay, so synapse chromosome begin to move away from each other, but they are attached at a point which is known as chiasmata. So what happens during the diplotin stage? First of all, the synaptonomial complex will get dissolved, and now the chromosome which was lying behind will come in front, and it will start move away from the first chromosome. And due to this, the bivalent will clearly appear as tetrad. And even though the chromosomes are moving apart, they are still attached with each other at a point, and that point is known as chiasmata. Okay, so synapse chromosome begin to move away from each other, but they are attached to a point which is known as chiasmata. So this point is known as chiasmata. Okay, and the oocytes of some vertebrate animals remain for a long period in the diplotin stage. Oocytes of some vertebrates remain for a long period, say for example months or years, in diplotin stage. Okay, for example oocytes of human being remain for 14 years in the diplotin state. So oocytes of some vertebrate remain for months or years in the diplotin state. Okay, they pass months or years in the diplotin state. Okay, so oocytes of vertebrates remain in this stage for a long time. Oocytes of some vertebrates remain in this stage for a long time, and this period can be either in months or it can be in form of years. Okay, so oocytes of vertebrates remain for a long time in this stage. Okay, so this is all about diplotin stage. And then the last stage of the prophase 1 is dikinesis. Okay, and what are the evident changes that has occurred in this change apart from this stage? Okay, so the evident change is loss of nuclear membrane. And loss of nucleolus. Okay, and the third evident change is that centrioles have reached to the poles. And now the chromosomes are floating passively in cytoplasm. So this is all about dikinesis. Okay, what happens in the dikinesis? Nuclear membrane disappears. Nucleolus will disappear. Chromosomes move freely in cytoplasm. freely in cytoplasm, and centrioles will lie at the poles. Centrioles will lie at the poles. And one more change is there, that this chiasmata is reaching towards the end. Chiasmata is reaching towards the end. Please watch here, that here chiasmata was present at this point, but here the chiasmata is present at the lower side. So here the chiasmata is moving at the end. Chiasmata is moving at the end, so it is known as terminalization of the chiasmata. The last phase, the last step is terminalization of chiasmata. Okay, so these are the key features of the dye kinesis. Nuclear membrane disappears, nucleolus disappears, chromosomes move freely in the cytoplasm, centrioles lie at the poles, and there will be terminalization of the chiasmata during the dye kinesis state. Okay, so in this manner we have just completed prophase 1 of the meiosis 1. Okay, so you can imagine that this meiosis is very complex process, because we have just covered the prophase 1. We are still remaining with prophase 2, metaphase 2, metaphase 1, anaphase 1, telophase 1. Then there will be interkinesis. Then there will be prophase 2 and metaphase 2, anaphase 2, telophase 2. So much steps are still remaining. We have just covered prophase 1 of the meiosis 1, because it is very complex process. Okay, so please learn all the stages well. Please watch the video 2-3 times and then read it from the textbook and then submit your homework. Okay, we will meet again. Till then, good luck and goodbye. Okay, chalo, bye bye.